Good morning, everybody. Welcome back in 2025, brand new year. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and a good New Year holiday. Of course, that's why we're here, though, is just because it's New Year. Doesn't mean anything's different. We got to keep doing what we've been doing. The whole process here we're talking about is keep on keeping on. Uh, Safety wise, had a really good year in 2024, and we can do just as good in 2025. So we got a couple of guys with us today to talk about some pre-job planning. And guys, I'll let y'all introduce yourself and tell the people, what you do. So Derik, if you want to go first.
Sure, yeah. I'm Derik Ellis. I'm the construction superintendent for Ring Energy. I'm in the north and the south. I see over all construction and maintenance.
All right.
And I'm Vaden Wilcox. I'm the SCADA superintendent over uh, Ring. We take care of the field automation as well as the SCADA system. So I'm kind of the guy that's responsible for getting us over to ZD SCADA, and some of you guys getting a lot of notifications. So I apologize for that ahead of time.
Oh, they love the alarms. They love it.
Yes,
Alarm
sir.
fatigue is what some guys call it.
We're
Well,
trying to prevent that, but that's a whole other conversation.
oh yeah. One of the things that we have, actually, the first thing, everybody has this little ring deal, a silver ring, with the different cards on it, the HSE principles that we have. Yep, there you go. All right. Um, Everybody has one of those. The first thing on there is job planning, which should be the first thing we're doing, right? Whenever we have a job. So when you hear the term job planning, Vaden, what does that mean to you?
I think initially we've got to establish what it is that we want to do. Kind of start of any project. What are we trying to accomplish? Uh, we've got to, of course, develop a material list so that we can get equipment coming for that job. I think really though, where we need to spend a lot of time is you know pre-planning. Like have a pre-planning conversation. Talk about um, you know obviously the scope of the work, uh, what job steps that's going to entail, um, you know, potential hazards that you'll see in those job steps, and then of course, ways to mitigate those hazards. Similar. Uh, JSA is basically, just a paper form of that conversation. I feel like.
Yeah, so it goes well beyond just planning. Hey, we're gonna go and say decommission this battery. Call the guys and get going. It goes well beyond that, right? I mean, there's a lot of
Absolutely.
planning that goes into it, um, both on the logistical part, having the right crews, the right guys, the right contractors out there working, but then also on the safety portion of it. So, Derik, I'll ask you this. Do you have any examples of maybe where, or what can go wrong without the proper job planning when we don't take the proper steps?
Yeah, I have one that comes to mind really quick. I know we all know about it. That Caesar Augustus.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
we had removed a tank from service, and the tank that we removed was the tank that SCADA was using to control the tank levels, and it didn't get passed down the line like it should have, and tank overflowed and caused a spill. And then the process of cleaning up that spill caused a whole nother incident, and everybody knows about it. And yeah, so that's a perfect example of where planning needs to,
Yeah.
come into
Yeah.
place.
That one didn't just cause a spill, it caused a spill that is going to be costly. It was a big
Yeah.
spill. But yeah, you're exactly right. We missed a step, and the step was some of the communication, getting
Mhm.
Vaden's guys involved and making sure we had, taken care of all the automation and stuff. And so that kind of stuff is important, not just for people's safety, but also the environment and so on. And when it comes to the HSE portion of our business, certainly spills are the thing we need to be focusing on right now. We're keeping guys safe, but man, we're spilling stuff, and we got to figure that out. So, um, when it comes to the pre-job planning, let's talk specifically about on location before we get started. How should we determine if, just a pre-job? tailgate safety meeting is enough, or if we need to have some further planning ahead of time, before we get out to location. But what do you think, Vaden?
Really, I think, if it's a routine task that we're trying to do to where everybody's used to doing it, done it day in and day out, they can discuss the job steps. They understand the hazards and can easily talk about how to mitigate those hazards and stuff. Probably just a conversation, is good. I think if it's a job where we have a lot of questions on, well, number one, like what are the job steps, or how do we mitigate some of these hazards, and we need to bring other people in, then we obviously need to, I guess you could almost call it a stop work and include other people and turn it into a little bit more, just to make sure that we've done the proper planning before we start executing that job.
Yeah, it's almost like a pre-startup safety review, a PSSR, right? We do some of those before we turn on some new production or whatever. This is the same thing, just in preparation for construction or any other task. But like you said, whenever we have routine tasks, okay, everybody knows what they're doing, what the implications are. But when you have stuff like Derik was mentioning, we're going to pull a whole tank out of this battery, right? That's not real routine. We need to double check and make sure we got everything going and get our ducks in a row before we ever hit the caliche. When it comes to being there on location, Derik, one thing, well, before location, when we're talking, like Vaden was talking about having meetings beforehand, getting things going. Another time that we might need to do that is if we have multiple contractors working on one job, right? So if we have just a roustabout going out and doing whatever, changing a valve or something, we probably don't need to have a big meeting about that. But if we got roustabouts and electricians and all these different guys going out there together, it certainly wouldn't hurt for us to get together, along with the supervisors of those companies, and say, all right, here's the plan, here's what's going on. So we got that done. We get out to location. We're going to talk about a pre-job safety meeting, a JSA, all that kind of stuff. What is it about those meetings that are different from the planning meeting in the office, Derik?
Yeah. So, that's one thing, throughout my career, I've noticed is, you might go out to one job and, someone simply writes up a JSA and the guys go over there, they don't even look at it. They just sign it and they move on and they go to work. Whereas if you go to another job and you gather everyone up, they go step by step through it, they discuss it. They really look into it. They try to come up with any ideas that, may arise during that, that task. And I think it's our job as ring employees to make sure that, we make sure that is being done. It's just not simply fill it out, sign it, and go on. We're actually talking about that job before we start. I mean, like just even like if a pumper's on location and he sees that they're gathering up to start a JSA, go over there, be part of it, because you might know something, you might see something that they don't know about. And I think that's one place that we can improve on, is just making sure that we're actually helping out and going through the JSAs like they should be done.
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of the things that we're going to be doing in 2025, another new thing to roll out, and something that actually the guys in the field have asked about, is JSAs, for ring. Now, we're not going to go crazy and start filling out JSAs every time we need to, replace the packing in a stuffing box or something like that. But when we do have these multi-contractor jobs going on, we have 3 or 4 ring employees working on something, changing out a pump or whatever it is, we'll have a way where we can get everybody on one JSA having the same conversation. Lots of times on location, you'll see the electricians will hold their pre-job meeting and talk about that, and the welders are talking to themselves, and the roustabouts are talking, but nobody's getting together, So we'll put together a deal where everybody can get together and have the same conversation. And it is all about the conversation. As I pointed out in safety meetings several times, JSA is a piece of paper. It's never saved anybody, right? It's not, I can't hold up a force field, and I got a JSA, nobody gets hurt. That's not the way it works. It's about the conversation that happens around it and about the planning and knowing what the hazards are and getting rid of them. So I don't want to belabor the point. The bottom line is pre-job planning is important, both for safety stuff, keeping guys safe and preventing spills and other unintended consequences, right? Lots and lots can go wrong when we don't do it right. So with that being said, y'all guys have any last words on pre-job planning?
Mhm.
No? All right. Perfect.
We're good.
We're good to go. Hey, I appreciate you guys being here with me, and I appreciate everybody watching. And again, it's a new year, so just keep on keeping on. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
See y'all.
Appreciate it.